everybody, and oh my goodness, today was the day. I legitimately could not get sleep last night, which I know some of you might, oh, you're a nerd, you have no life, oh my god, go outside. But I couldn't sleep because today was the day that Bungie had their live stream to go through all of the changes to the sandbox, weapons, balancing, all that stuff. This is such an important day for Destiny. It's such an important day for the longevity of the current game that we have before we go into Destiny 2. So I'm going to go through all of the notes that I took during the live stream for these changes. I will also be giving my opinion on all of them after I give you guys the breakdown. So if you want to skip to my just opinion, because you already know what the changes are, I will leave a link in the description, a timestamp to where you can go and just watch my opinion. Now, the first thing that they started off with talking about is shotguns. So there's not going to be any aim assist at all on outscoped shotgun shots. So if you're firing from the hip, you're not going to get any aim assist. They're also decreasing in-air accuracy with shotguns. There's also no precision damage on shotguns. Now, this does not go for the Chaperone. There are certain shotguns that are not going to have that change. Obviously, the Chaperone, it's all about that. It's all about getting precision shots, but there will be no precision damage on all of the others. Now, they did do a change to rangefinder on shotguns as well. If you want to have rangefinder and you want to have that increased range while aiming down your sights, there will be an increased ADS time of 25%. So it's going to take you a little bit longer to aim down your sights, to get the aim assist on your shotgun, and to also get the rangefinder perk. So maybe people will start running another perk. I have no idea. They also removed movement speed penalty with shotguns. So a long time ago, they introduced a change where if you had a shotgun out, you moved more slowly. That is officially gone now. Now that is it for shotguns. We're going to move on to pulse rifles. Now they have reduced the rate of fire for the highest rate of fire pulse rifles, which is the Grasp of Malak and also Clever Dragon, by 7.7%. So what that means, if you are a buff to this kind of thing, is that there will be one more frame before you can shoot again. You will be seeing on screen what exactly that looks like. They've also reduced the effect of high caliber rounds from pulse rifles. So high caliber rounds will not make people flinch as hard as it currently does. They also reduced the base flinch across all pulse rifles, because pulse rifles are the main culprit of having a super intense flinch. So they reduced that across the board on all pulse rifles. Now, also just speaking about high caliber rounds really quickly, they fixed it on hand cannons and scout rifles. So if you didn't know what this did, basically if you had high caliber rounds on a hand cannon and you shot someone, sometimes it would have no effect, sometimes it would make their flinch actually better. You would make them more accurate. So now high caliber rounds does actually make the other person that you are shooting flinch harder. It actually works now, so that's good. Now, another thing that they changed with pulse rifles is to do with the braced frame perk. If you choose to have braced frame, you will reduce your magazine size significantly. You can go from 24 to 18 mag size on a Clever Dragon, so that is a significant decrease in your ammo size. Now, in terms of buffs for a pulse rifle, they have increased the slowest rate of fire pulse rifle's fire rate by 5.3%. Now, this is for the absolute slowest rate of fire pulse rifles. It does not include Red Death. I just want to put that out there. This is the very slowest rate of fire pulse rifles. They will have a higher rate of fire, so they will be doing more damage. Now, moving on to auto rifles, they have increased the base damage of the low rate of fire auto rifle. So focus fire is going to be absolutely awesome on auto rifles now. It's going to shred people. Suros will be king once again, maybe. They also had a precision damage multiplier increase for those auto rifles. So that is it for the auto rifles. I'm sorry if I'm going through this quickly. I just want to give it to you in a fast breakdown so you don't have to waste all day looking at patch notes. Now, for hand cannons, it was actually quite a good change. The chat rejoiced when they said this change. The initial accuracy of hand cannons has been taken back to year 1. So that initial accuracy, there's no bloom on there at all. You have a very, 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 very big increase on your initial accuracy with a hand cannon. They are going to be extremely deadly. Now, to circumvent this a little bit, they have reduced the base range by 5 meters to where you start actually seeing some drop off in the damage that you are doing with a hand cannon. So you will be super accurate in that mid to short range kind of place. Long range, you might not want to use your hand cannon. Now, also across the board, all in-air accuracy, besides hand cannons, has been increased. So now you can use a pulse rifle, scout rifle, or auto rifle in the air and have a much higher increased accuracy. It is worth noting that hand cannons are still king for this playstyle. They have the highest in-air accuracy, but now if you are in the air and you are going against someone, you see someone come around a corner, you can't actually shoot them with your pulse rifle in the air. Now let's talk about the special ammo economy, which is super interesting, which I will talk about later. Okay, so you start the game with special ammo. That does not change. You start the game with special ammo, but once you die, you lose special ammo. So it works very much so like heavy ammo. You grab heavy, if you die, you lose it. Same thing with special now. You die, you lose special. But what they have done is they've made special spawn every 60 seconds instead of every 90 seconds. So there's going to be more special around for you to pick up, but if you die, you will lose it. Also, the radius has been reduced in which you can actually pick up the special ammo. It's gone from 100 to 75. So if you pick up a special ammo box, it's going to be less likely that your teammates are going to get it. So there might be a little bit more strategy there with when you pick up special, or if you're picking up special, it might just be for you and not your teammates. So be careful. Be nice to your fellow Guardians. Also, let's talk about Trials of Osiris, or just the game type elimination in general, because special ammo works a very particular way in this game type. The first round of elimination, so when you load into that Trials of Osiris match, everyone will have special. That is the same. But after that, you do not have special. Now, we're actually waiting for some confirmation from Derek, who is a Crucible senior designer. We're waiting to have confirmation if both teams lose special on round 2, or is it the people who are alive on the winning team that keep special, but then the other team loses special? Because obviously elimination, the round reset thing, is a pretty unique part of elimination. It's not like that in other parts of the Crucible. So we're waiting for confirmation on that. I want to get 100% confirmation on who is keeping special round 2. So when I have that information, I will write it in the comments. So keep an eye on the comments. I will pin it to the top so you can see that. Now, moving on to some class balancing. There wasn't a whole lot that was discussed, but there were some things. Now, I'm going to start with something that does confuse me, which again, I will talk about in my opinion piece after all of this. Hungering Blade immediately regens your health, but there's no shield regen. So that's actually a nerf to Blade Dancers. They didn't want Hungering Blade to just be the get out of jail free card. They didn't want it to be you shot down this Blade Dancer to almost dead and then he gets all his health back and his shield back. He will just get his health back when he uses Hungering Blade. Again, talk about it later. Throwing Knife now does solar damage. So for PvE, your throwing knife will do solar damage. So that's a thing. Now for Stormcallers, they have reduced the range of the Stormcaller melee to match other Warlock melee distances. So that is obviously quite a significant range reduction. Now also Landfall. Don't know who was using Landfall a ton. Maybe they were. I don't know. But if you choose to have Landfall, you will have less time in your Storm Trance. Your Storm Trance will tick down faster. You won't be able to run around zippy zapping everybody for a super long time if you choose to use Landfall. Now moving on to Titans, mostly about Juggernaut. Actually, only about Juggernaut. Juggernaut now disables after being in the air for a short time. So it's not immediately, they're not going to jump in the air and the Titan shield's just going to disappear, but it does disappear if you are in the air. It will go away significantly faster than if you're just running on the ground. They also cannot activate their jug shield in mid-air. So essentially, if you want to be a jug shield titan, you're gonna have to run on the ground. Going in the air is not going to benefit you at all if you are using a jug shield. Now, they did mention some other things that will be in the patch notes, but they didn't actually go into any detail about, and that is that they are nerfing Universal Remote. Little weird. They noticed that knee pads was on some weapons that people just got for free, so that's probably going to be taken away. They're also nerfing Shinobu's Vow, which are the exotic gauntlets for blade dancers. They're also doing something to Young Wolf's Howl and nerfing Truth. Don't know what's happening there. Again, we're waiting for patch notes on that. And they're doing something to Blink. Now, we have not been given specifics about what is happening to Blink, but if you go back over the footage, I will show it here for you guys right here. You will see that when Blink is used, the HUD goes away and the radar goes away for the person blinking. Now, this is a straight up nerf to Blink if this is the case. Now, what I'm hoping, I'm not jumping into conclusions and being like, why does Bungie hate blade dancers? I'm hoping that they undid the nerf that they did to recovery while blinking, so when you're blinking, you're not going to be penalized by not being able to recover your health. I'm hoping that maybe they made the handling better when getting out of blink. I do not know, but just in my mind, there's no possible way that they were like, yeah, let's just nerf blink by taking away the HUD and radar of people when they blink. There's just no way, because people already don't use blink. You have blade dancers who use control jump and they use Bones of AO. Most void walkers don't use blink. They just don't. Most people tend to stray away from blink. So to then nerf it again? No, I just can't believe that Bungie would be that oblivious to where they would just blanket nerf blink again. So I'm sincerely hoping, and I really do think, that there will be some kind of buff to blink to go along with this nerf to blink. But that is noticeable in the footage. They blink, the HUD goes away, radar goes away. It's very obvious. It's a thing. So we're going to have to wait on the patch notes to see exactly what's happening to Blink. It better not just be a nerf, because that would be incredibly stupid. So that is everything that we got from the stream. Again, we are waiting for patch notes so we can have actual data to wrap this up and all that stuff. But interesting, very interesting changes overall. I would say that the shotgun changes I'm pretty happy with. I don't really understand the no aim assist on outscoped shotgun shots, because people just they aim their shot. I guess they're trying to make it to where if you're using rangefinder, maybe you're going to not scope in as much, so then you'll have no accuracy. I don't know. Shotguns are still going to be good, to be perfectly honest. You're still going to be able to hit people from pretty far away. It's just going to take you longer to ADS. So I was personally fine with the shotgun changes. Maybe the decreased in-air accuracy on shotguns, I'm a little like, well, your game is a super like in-air game, so I don't really get that too much. But my personal opinion is that they're really trying to hit that playstyle of just floofing around in the air, being a jug shotty, and shotgunning people in the air. I think they're really trying to target that. So maybe that's where they were going with that. But again, I have no idea. Now, in terms of the pulse rifle change, I think that's perfectly fine. Clever Dragon will still be good, in my opinion. It'll still be a good weapon. You just don't want to use braced frame because you'll have no freaking ammo. What I'm more excited about is definitely the increase to the slower rate of fire pulse rifles, bringing them up a little bit. I'm excited for the increased base damage of low rate of fire auto rifles, because honestly, I use Suros and I use focus fire on it. I used it in trials and it was shredding people. So with this buff, it's going to shred people even more. So I'm super excited about that. Obviously, I'm super excited about hand cannons actually being the accurate weapon that they are supposed to be now. The initial shot is going to be super accurate. If you spam your shot though, you are going to notice some bloom happening. So it's definitely supposed to be a very deliberate precision weapon. If you play like that, you will notice that the accuracy is way better. Now, the biggest thing that I think is going to actually switch up the game is the special ammo economy. I think out of all the changes that they stated in the stream, this is the one thing that will switch things up quite heavily. So For trials, I think it's going to have the biggest impact. Just like most changes do, they tend to have a bigger impact for Trials of Osiris. The fact that you don't get any ammo on the second round, like everyone is out of ammo, is super interesting. I saw some people in the Bungie chat and on Twitter in general being like, oh, well, now it's just going to make Trials super slow. They're just going to sit there with scories waiting for special ammo. And I'm like, but you can just put on a trespasser or any sidearm and run at those guys with your primaries, hit them with that. If you get in close range, you have a trespasser to completely destroy those people. I think it actually makes a really interesting decision that you have to make when you're playing Trials of Osiris. You have to think, do I want to engage this fight with just my primary, or do I want to hold back and wait for special ammo? You have to make that decision, and I personally think that that's very interesting. No Land Beyond sidearm is going to be super good. You're going to be seeing more people using Icebreaker probably and Invective, which I personally don't have a problem with, because it's switching up what guns people use. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a thing that we need right now. We just need people to switch things up a little bit. Now, in terms of non-Trials of Osiris gameplay, I think it has the potential for making games quite snowbally. If a team starts off doing good, it might be pretty difficult to come back and get your special ammo and fight back. Because obviously if you die, you then lose it. So it definitely has the potential to be super snowbally, which I don't think is a good thing for things to be super snowbally. You want to give people the opportunity to come back in a game. Maybe having ammo will be that chance to come back. I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna have to see how that plays out. I really don't like jumping to super negative opinions on anything until I personally play with those changes. I just don't like doing that. Now, the change to Hungering Blade, I 100% do not understand. I will straight up say, I don't get that. I don't understand a nerf to blade dancers in general. I think if you're gonna hit blade dancers anywhere, it should be skip grenades. And if you're gonna do that, you should just hit tracking grenades in general. You should just say that tracking grenades don't track as much anymore. So I really don't understand the change to Hungering Blade, taking away the shield regen. I don't really get that. I'm a little confused. I don't understand. I mean, sure, no. Yeah, again, I don't get it. So again, I don't like to jump to crazy conclusions, because I haven't played in the new sandbox. I haven't played with everything being balanced, and I don't know the change to Blink. So it could just be that they played with these new changes and they found that Hungering Blade was just a little bit too strong. So instead of giving it the shield and the health back, it now gives just your health back. So I don't personally know, but I was confused by that change. The rest of the changes I think are totally fine. I actually am really excited for all of these changes, because honestly, we have had this meta for a very long time. It has been an extremely long time since we had any kind of sandbox update. We've been playing with the same things for so incredibly long, and I'm just excited to pull out some different things. I'm excited to use my low rate of fire auto rifles and pulse rifles and see how they do, and I'm excited to try out a bunch of different sidearms. So I'm personally looking forward to these changes. I think Hawkmoon could potentially be really good because the accuracy is increased, so that's gonna be super interesting to see. I can't wait to see the patch notes so I can actually see a breakdown of every single change that is coming to the game and have a better idea of how that will affect the sandbox. But overall, I'm happy. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't talk about scories at all. And actually, when scories was mentioned on stream, both people who were from Bungie seemed very confused as to what scories was or why it was even being talked about as a problem. So that was a little, that was a little spooky. It was a little scary to hear people be like, scories? Yeah, no, why would we touch that? Like, why? They didn't say why would we touch that, by the way. That's just kind of the attitude that I got from them, was that it was like, oh yeah, no, we left the artifacts alone, of course, duh, why did we touch them? So I am disappointed that they didn't at least say, yeah, we understand that scories is a problem, at least, because it doesn't even seem to be on their radar. But overall, I'm excited to try the changes. And overall, I'm pretty happy with the changes, actually. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you stayed this long, please do let me know in the comments section, which change are you most excited for? What do you think is going to be hit the most? Do you think high rate of fire auto rifles are going to be the best? Or low rate of fire auto rifles are going to be the best? Or pulse rifles are going to be amazing? Let me know in the comments section what you are most excited to use in the brand new Crucible. Again, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll speak to you awesome people later. Bye.